my channel, and today I'm going to be doing DIY fall room decor. I don't know if you can tell, but in the background did a little bit of a different warmer color change. Not so much summer anymore. So if you guys want to see some awesomely awesome DIYs, please keep on watching and make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and give this video a big thumbs up, and let's just get right into it. Okay, so here are the materials you guys will need. A giant fork, some yarn, a big needle, some scissors, and an old blanket. So I'm just going to start off by clearing my surface and marking where I'm going to put my pom-poms. And now I'm just going to set that aside and teach you how to make these wonderful cute pom-poms. So first you're going to unravel some of your string and wrap it around your fork however many times you want. I did 25, but it all depends on how fluffy you want your pom-pom. And you don't have to use a fork, it was just a lot easier for me to use. Now I'm just going to cut off the pom-pom and I'm going to place it in the middle of a piece of extra string and tie it tightly. I say tightly because you need to tie this super tight in order for it to be secure. And make sure to knot this. And then you're going to cut off one of the strings and leave the other one and cut through all the hoops so that you will have a big fluffy pom-pom. And again, making sure to keep that string so that you can attach it to your blanket. And now it looks a little scrawny, so I'm just going to give it a little trim to make it look extra fluffy. Ta-da! So now we're going to attach our pom-pom to our blanket, but make sure to repeat that however many times you need to make your blanket full of pom-poms. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to loop my piece of yarn through my needle, and as you can see, I'm cutting a tiny hole in the corner, and I'm just going to loop my needle through that hole. So you don't need to cut a hole, but I couldn't find a sharp enough needle to go through my blanket and a big enough one, but that's what I'm going to do, and my blanket's this nice tan color, so I think this cherry color goes great with it. So I'm just going to twist it and stick it in my giant needle. This is like a plastic needle from when I was super little, so yeah. And so now I'm just looping it through, and then I'm going to tie it off after I loop it through with a knot, and making sure to make that knot tight so that your pom-pom will stay on as long as you want it to. And then make sure to trim off the rest of your yarn, and this is how it looks in the end. It's super cute and I love it.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpiece.
So next we're going to make a super cool sign, and so you'll need some felt in these colors that I'm laying out here. You'll also need some paint in brown and white, a Sharpie, somewhere to put your paint, some templates printed off from offline, and then some wire, a paintbrush, a foam brush, and then I just pre-cut this piece of wood and I drilled it 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top. So first we're going to start off by setting down your board and painting over with a nice thick layer of paint. My brown is chocolate sprinkle, and I would definitely recommend buying acrylic paints from Walmart because they're cheaper and they have a great selection of colors. And so you don't have to be too exact with this because we are going to end up making it look rustic in the end. So just make sure to go over it with your foam brush. And then you're going to want to set this aside to let it dry. And while that's drying, we're going to make our charms that will go on the bottom of the sign. So I'm going to make my pumpkin first. So I set out some orange felt and I just sticked my template on top, and I'm going to trace around it with my Sharpie so that I can cut it out. And so it looks like this, so you just want to start off by cutting out that pumpkin and making sure to cut on the inside of the Sharpie so none of it is showing when you have it hanging on your sign. And so I finished that, and now I'm just going to take my green felt and trace the stem onto it. This does not have to be accurate either because you can always trim it off. And again, make sure to cut on the inside of the Sharpie. And now I have that, and now I'm just going to take a basic glue stick. You can use some other glue if you want to, but I'm just using a glue stick because that's what I had around. And I'm just going to glue that stem on top of the pumpkin. Make sure to press it down and make it nice and secure. And now you just want to take your Sharpie and draw those lines that are on a pumpkin when they're real pumpkins. So this just makes it look more three-dimensional and more like a pumpkin. And that's how it looks in the end. So now I'm going to do my acorn. So I just laid out my tan felt and I'm tracing over it and repeating the same process as I did with my pumpkin, just cutting it out and making sure I'm inside the Sharpie lines. And then I'm just going to take the top of the template and cut it out on some black felt and then just stick it on the top with some Elmer's glue again. And of course you can add any extra detail that you like. Next I'm just going to take my leaf, which this takes a while to cut out. So what I decided to do is I just decided to tape the leaf on so that it's easier to cut out. And this takes a while just because of all the little curves and crannies that there is. So make sure you get this done easily. And so that's how it looks in the end with all three of them. And now I'm just going to set out my board and make sure to paint the sides because I had to do that after it dried because I wasn't able to handle it. So now I'm just going to paint over with some white paint to give it that rustic look that I want. You don't have to do this, it is optional. So now I'm just taking the autumn letters and I'm going to cut them out to use them as templates. So I just cut them out and I placed them and taped them onto my board, and very, very carefully, not too much paint, basically just use a sponge brush and go over it. And once I peeled this off, I realized that it looked horrible, so I went around and I fixed it with my tiny brush, and that's how it looks. Again, make sure the board isn't too perfect because it's supposed to look rustic. And now I'm just going to tape small pieces of wire to the back of my felt figures. And ta-da! And now I'm just going to take my sign and loop a piece of wire through the 2 drilled holes at the top. And that's basically where it's going to be hanging from. And now I'm just looping on my charms. This is optional. You can always hot glue them to the back.
Chris Brown, set it up. Oh, feeling crazy. The moon is up. The night is easy. Let's get lost.
Now I've just decided to take some of my summer pictures and replace them with autumn pictures. So this is my corkboard, and I'm just going to open up a browser, and I'm going to search autumn Tumblr pictures and look at some pictures that I like, and then I'm just going to copy them and paste them into a Word document and just print out like a couple of these so that I can have a bunch of pictures for my board. And so this is some of the pictures I chose in my Word document. And so yeah, and now I'm just going to print that and cut it out. And so now I'm just going to take down those summer pictures that I had up during the summer and replace them with some autumn pictures. And I love the way this turned out. You just gotta play around with it to make sure you have good placement. So now I'm just going to replace some cool things in my room, such as the sign right now, with some autumns.
I've got fire for a heart. I'm not scared of the dark. You've never seen it look so easy. I got a river for...
Like an astronaut that's scared of heights, with a heart that's beating at the speed of light. It's a little blurry how the whole thing started. I don't even really know what you intended. Thought that you were cute and you could make me.
Just admit it.
I showed him all the things that he didn't understand. Whoa. Then I let him go. Now there's one in California who's been cursing my name, 'cause I found me a better lover in the UK. Hey, it's my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on. Stop me right now, I'll be strong.
When I need motivation, my one solution is my queen, 'cause she's still